to be here.
If we could find a seat, we'll get started.
Hey, Doug.
Or if there isn't a seat, stand in the back. You can share mine. Richard, is it supposed to show anything? Okay. Good morning, everyone. My name is Linda Lloyd, and I'm the presiding officer assigned by the board to conduct this portion of the Category 3 license renewal hearing for Woodlands Fayette LLC, doing business as Lady Luck Casino. Before we begin, if we could turn off or to vibrate all of our electronic devices. As the presiding officer, I call this hearing to order. The date is Wednesday, September 14th, 2016. The time is 9:59, and the location is the Wharton Township Municipal Building at 114 Elliotsville Road, Farmington, Pennsylvania, 15437. The Pennsylvania Racehorse Development and Gaming Act at Section 1326 requires that an operator's license shall be the subject of renewal by the board every 3 years. This license renewal hearing is convened by the board pursuant to the mandate found in 1205B1I of the Gaming Act, which requires the board to conduct a public hearing for any license renewal application. This public hearing was advertised on the board's website, announced by the board at board meetings, and advertised in local newspapers. With us today, board members with us today at the hearing are from my immediate left, Greg Feit and Bill Ryan, and my immediate right, Dave Woods and Dick Jewell. We're going to go a little bit out of order today. We're going to hear comments from Senator Pat Stefano, followed by the Lady Luck Casino's presentation, and our Office of Enforcement Counsel and board members will have opportunity to ask questions of Lady Luck Casino if they wish. After that, our OSC Counsel will make their presentation with questions to follow as well. After the close of the testimony and evidence from the parties, individuals who have registered to speak today during the public comment portion will be heard. Elected or government officials will have 10 minutes to speak. Community group individuals will have 5 minutes, and individuals will have 3 minutes. So this is an official administrative hearing, so please treat this as you're attending a court proceeding. All witnesses, if you could speak loudly and clearly so our court reporter who's sitting over here to my right can hear you and record what you have to say. We are live streaming our proceedings today through our website, so we'd just like everybody to know that's going on as well. So if we could begin by having all of the witnesses from Lady Luck Casino, the Office of Enforcement Counsel, and our senator stand to be sworn by the court reporter. So Senator Pat Stefano, if you'd like to come up to the podium.
Good morning. Thank you for the opportunity to speak to you this morning about a very important piece of our community's economy. Having been involved in our community through the Fayette County Chamber of Commerce, where I now serve as president, and representing all of Fayette County as the state senator, I have seen from multiple angles the benefits that Lady Luck Casino has brought to the community. As the Vice Chair of the Senate's Community Economic and Recreational Development Committee, which oversees the gaming legislation, I have seen the important budgetary role casinos, like Lady Luck, play in our Commonwealth to fund our programs and provide much-needed property tax relief to residents. relief that I hope we will expand on in the legislature. Since coming online in 2013, Lady Luck Casino has provided our community with over 300 jobs. This doesn't take into account the vendors that the casino relies on for supplies and materials. Lady Luck has been a friend of local nonprofits and charitable organizations, including our first responders. Lady Luck has also brought new people into our community, encouraging people to make Fayette County a true tourist destination. It is a perfect partner to our fantastic attractions in Fayette County, such as Nemacolin Woodlands Resort, Ohiopyle State Park, Frank Lloyd Wright's Falling Water, and Kentuck Knob, the Great Allegheny Passage, just to name a few. With activities available for all tastes and time of day, Lady Luck Casino helps Fayette County truly take its place in our region as a daycation or weekend getaway destination. Another important aspect of Lady Luck is the funding that stays local in our community in the form of the local share assessment. I'm very proud that the monies that come to Fayette County via the local assessment is being put to use in furthering our economic development. In the first 2 years of the local share, funding has been awarded to start an employment training program, a critical need in our community to increase the capabilities of our workforce, to develop buildings in our downtown, to provide services and loans to our small businesses in our community, and provide recreational opportunity to our residents. These are projects that wouldn't receive any funding through regular funding channels. The local share provides a unique development tool for Fayette County, which has long been left behind by the economic growth in southwestern Pennsylvania. This year, approximately $600,000 will be made available for these purposes. I can't overstate the positive effects these funds have and the programs that are implemented. Lady Luck has provided all this to our community against the backdrop of a tough economic and through a tough economy while operating as a Category 3 casino, which, as you know, has certain limitations. They have been a wonderful partner for our community. I encourage a favorable review of their renewal so that our economy recovers and the legislature, that we may see even more benefit from this tremendous asset. I'd like to thank you for your time and consideration of my observations. I'm proud to represent the hundreds of workers that rely on Lady Luck to provide for their families, the small business owners that benefit, and the businesses that the casino brings to our area, and the thousands of people who take advantage of the entertainment destination in our community. Thank you very much.
We will now turn to Lady Luck for your presentation. And if I could ask the speakers if you could state your name before you speak so our court reporter knows who's speaking. Thank you.
Thank you. Good morning. I am Monty Hansen, Managing Director for Nemacolin Woodlands Resort. On behalf of our owner, Maggie Hardy McGarrico, our founder, Joseph A. Hardy, and the management and associates of Nemacolin Woodlands Resort, Woodlands Fayette, LLC, and Isle of Capri, I thank the State Gaming Control Board for their time and attention today. Today we'll be addressing the following agenda items. First, we'll discuss a little bit the resort and casino facts. And then we'll delve into economic impacts, talk about diversity, compliance, tourism impacts, community service, and then Gary will do an introduction of the community speakers as well as some of his associates. Speakers today, I will be first. Gary Hendricks, Vice President and General Manager of Isle of Capri. Lady Luck will be second. Robin Valenti, Human Resources Director, will then speak. Queen Henderson of Otis and Henry's, one of their outlets at the casino, will speak. Joe Victor, who is a table game supervisor. Marianne Silverstein, an executive casino host. And then we'll have a few community speakers. Muriel Nuttall from Fayette County Chamber of Commerce, as well as Renee Seifert from the Laurel Highlands Visitor Bureau. First of all, a few things about Nemacolin Woodlands Resort. We are a world-class, award-winning resort. We offer 320 guest rooms. an award-winning spa, world-class spa. We also have a Pete Dye Championship golf course, Mystic Rock, Lady Luck Casino, and very many other guest amenities. Nemacolin is situated on nearly 2,000 acres of ground and hosts approximately 350,000 guests on an annual basis from 48 states and 6 countries. Approximately 1,200 employees, and our annual payroll represents $25 million before benefits on a yearly basis. We have more than amenities that we can count at times, but a few of the ones that we would like to highlight are our lodging, banquet space that we host large meetings and conventions. We have a tremendous amount of restaurant collection, including 12 dining outlets, one of which is run by the only female 5-star 5-diamond chef in the world, Lautrec, and we are so happy to have Kristen on our team. We have 12 bars and lounges, a cigar bar, world-renowned spa, Mystic Rock Golf Course, ski slopes, shooting academy, fly fishing, off-road trails with a Jeep driving school, just to name a few. Since July of 2013, the resort has continued to be transformed and put money back into the resort. We did a $30 million renovation that commenced in 2014 and finished in 2015. Those renovations touched all aspects of the resort, including both exterior and interior renovations of many of the rooms. In 2016, we continued the renovations with a new entrance to the Chateau Lafayette, which is featured here. You can see the before and after. Just an absolute tremendous transformation and life-changing for the resort. We also added the Paradise Pool Complex. We added a new adult pool and renovated the old existing structure. You can see the before and after pictures there. The next thing that we are in the process of doing right now is constructing a second Pete Dye Championship golf course, Shepherd's Rock. Its anticipated completion is October 31st of this year and opening in July of 2017. Tourism impacts. Nemacolin continues with other great attractions to be one of the great attractions of Laurel Highlands and helps to attract visitors from a variety of locations. Nemacolin's core customers visit us from Pennsylvania, Virginia, Maryland, Ohio, West Virginia, and New York. Nemacolin hosts approximately 40% of its guests for leisure activities and approximately 60% of its guests for meetings and conventions and conferences. As you know from our initial application, the Hardy family has a long-standing commitment to the Western Pennsylvania and has demonstrated that on many occasions. Has contributed and been involved with a lot of different community activities since the acquisition of the resort in 1987. Some of the community activities that the resort and Lady Luck and Nemacolin have been involved with include, and just to name a few, the Fayette County EMS, WCCC Educational Foundation, Big Brothers Big Sisters of the Laurel Region, Project Bundle Up, Children's Water Festival, Junior Achievement, Fayette County Fair, and Adopt a Highway. We are proud partners of Isle of Capri, which manages Lady Luck Nemacolin, and I would like to introduce to you Gary Hendricks, Vice President and General Manager of Lady Luck Nemacolin.
Gary, thank you, Monty. Commissioners, it's a pleasure to be here speaking to you in the Laurel Highlands today. I'm sorry. Thank you. It's a pleasure to be speaking to you today in the Laurel Highlands. My name is Gary Hendricks. I am the new Vice President and General Manager of the casino. I've been in position since about May. I'm sure you're all fully informed of the casino, but I'd like to give you a few pieces of information about it. We opened our doors and began welcoming customers in July of 2013. Isle of Capri Casinos Incorporated, our parent company, invested nearly $60 million in the existing structure, adding bathrooms and office facilities and those sorts of things to the building. We have 597 slot machines, 28 table games, 2 restaurants, and we're proud to say that we have over 300 employees that work hard every day to bring a welcome and warm gaming experience to our customers. So looking at the local impact on the taxes to what Senator Stefano referred to a little bit ago, you can see that we've kind of landed at about $1.3 million in local taxes. You can see we've increased a little bit over the fiscal years. So our overall tax structure, the casino license our annual tax license revenue is settled in at about $16 million. And you can see with the gaming license fee, the non-gaming taxes, we've totaled, since open, just over $61.5 million. So looking at the non-gaming operations, the $2.6 million that was in that list, we do have, the biggest piece of that is our Pennsylvania state income tax at just over $1 million. And then going back to gaming taxes, again, you can see we've, last year, 16.7, the year before, 16.4 million total. And so far, since inception, we've been 46 million in taxes paid. So looking at the purchasing side, locally, we spend about $3 million annually on non-construction items. And you look at, back at 2013, of course, we spent quite a bit more with the construction total there, the $49 million in the local area. So since inception, we have spent $57 million in the local area in purchasing. Now you break that down a little further into the minority, women, and owned businesses. And you can see our typical spend runs about 1.5 annually, actually 1.6 last year. Our total spend to minority and women-owned businesses since opening has been $6.5 million. And in total, we've purchased over $120 million in goods and services since opening in 2013, with $69 million in non-construction related items. So we take pride in our employees at Lady Luck. You'll have a few minutes to meet some of them here in just a moment. Payroll and benefits since opening have exceeded $31 million, nearly $32 million that we've been. We are proud to say that over 300 of our employees are Pennsylvania residents. We run pretty consistent, male and female, pretty near even. And actually on the management team, we have 66 managers, and those are 50-50, 33 male, 33 female, including my direct report staff is 4 and 4. In the diversity area, we pretty much mirror the local community, the local area's ethnicity. And looking at compliance, compliance is especially important focus for us at Lady Luck. We place an emphasis on departmental training in a variety of areas that you can see listed here. We also include mock scenarios for employees to help them anticipate what actions might need to be taken should a situation arise. Signage and collateral for compulsive gaming and problem gaming are easily found throughout the property. Typically, we spend about $25,000 annually on training for these topics for our employees. As I mentioned, I am very pleased to introduce our next speakers. We have 4 of our employees here today. We felt there's no better way for you to hear about jobs created by the casino than for you to hear about our team directly. With that, we have Robin Valenti, our Human Resources Director, Queen Henderson, a server for us in one of our outlets, Joe Victor, a table game supervisor, and Marion Silverstein, our executive host, can best illustrate the benefits of a casino in Fayette County. And if I could, start with Robin Valenti, please.
Good morning. As Gary mentioned, my name is Robin Valenti. I'm the Director of Human Resources at Lady Luck Casino. I will preface this by saying I'm not normally nervous to speak in public, but I don't normally speak about my personal experiences, so bear with me if I seem a bit nervous. I started with Lady Luck in March of 2013. I was hired as an HR manager and then promoted in March of 2014 as the HR director. I am a resident of Fayette County. I am born, raised in Fayette County. I've lived in Fayette County for probably 36 of my 41 years. So a few years I lived in Allegheny County in Pittsburgh. But after getting married, my husband and I moved home, my home, not his, so I brought a resident in. We live in a house that is was built in 1700s, and myself is the 4th generation, my children are the 5th generation. So I have no intentions of leaving Fayette County. Prior to working at Lady Luck Casino, I gained over 10 years of HR experience working for a company in Washington County. At In June of 2009, they outsourced their entire HR function. At the time, I was pregnant with my third child, and I lost my job. At that time, my household income was cut in half. So needless to say, it was devastating as we were adding to our family. I struggled. I tried to find gainful employment in Fayette County in my profession. I was unsuccessful. My children, my oldest was starting school, so I did not want to travel outside of the county. It was important to stay. My children go to the public schools as well. So I began working part-time at Uniontown Mall in retail. I enjoyed that job, but of course it was minimum wage. Again, part-time, but it was helpful. I got to meet people in the community. So when I saw the position available, I was thrilled. I was nervous and excited to get an interview, and then once hired, to say it changed my life for the better is truly an understatement. It was my first experience in gaming, but not in HR, so people are people. However, I learned so much about the gaming industry, how it affects the community in a positive way, and I'm very happy to be a part of that. One of the biggest things for me is that having this employment in Fayette County so close to my home is that now I truly feel part of the community. Not just because I'm working in it, but now I have the opportunity to have a real home-life balance, where if I had to commute to Pittsburgh or other areas to get a successful job that would help improve my family's finances, I wouldn't have the opportunity to attend my daughter's dance classes and soccer games and practices, my son's hockey games and baseball games. For me, that's very important. As well as being a part of the community both inside and outside of work, it's also extremely rewarding to see that, as mentioned, we have 316 employees. I would say a huge majority of those are Fayette County residents. So not only do I get to spend time with them at work, I also see them outside of work in such activities as the soccer games, dance classes, dance reviews. I also see them volunteering at these events that are all Fayette County related. So it's really given me a sense of community. As part of my position, we do have a community outreach, but not only just through the company, but we also have many employees, as far as, including myself, that volunteer outside of the community in Fayette County. So that is extremely important. And to work for a company that not only encourages but embraces community outreach is extremely rewarding and impressive. I know I don't have a whole lot of time, but I just want to say that I hope I could at least begin to express my gratitude for this opportunity. It's a great place to work. I love my job. I'm passionate about human resources, and I'm really excited to be able to share it with this community, to remain in the community, and to give back to Fayette County in the form of my own time, my employees' time, and to offer good jobs for community members as well. So thank you.
Joe, could I have you come up, please?
Hello, good morning. My name is Joe Victor. I'm a table game supervisor at Lady Luck Casino. I started there in June of 2013 as a dealer. I've worked my way up now to I'm a dual pit. I am from Fayette County community, born and raised. I love the area, and the casino has provided me with a great opportunity to meet different people and to be a part of the gaming community. I used to work down at the Rivers Casino. I quit working there because of the travel. It was just too much, an hour and a half. It's just a long drive. So with the casino being here, it is an awesome opportunity for me to stay within the area, stay close to my family and friends, and to be a part of a community that I love. Thank you.
Thank you, Joe. Queen, could you come up, please?
Good morning, everybody. My name is Queen Henderson. I'm from Fayette County also, and I started working at the casino in July of 2013. I used to work at Ponderosa for 33 years. went to a job fair in May. Rhonda, she hired me. She was like, she interviewed me. She said, I'm going to make you a server. And I was like, well, I'm not sure if I want to do that, if I'm able to do that, because I worked at Ponderosa for 33 years, totally different job than what she was hiring me for. I'm like, I'm not sure if I can do that. She was like, welcome aboard, I have faith in you, basically. So when I actually started the job, of course, I was very nervous. And I actually ended up being one of the top servers. I got a lot of positive feedback from the guests. They all liked me. They'd come in, ask me for, my name. And, I get comments now. People are like, well, you should open up your own restaurant because everybody comes in and asks for you. And I'm like, it is what it is. So I've been there for 3 years. And I enjoy it. And like I said, she, put me in that spot. And I want to thank her for that, too. And also, I like interacting with the guests. I think it's great working at the casino, walking in there saying, hey, I work at a casino. It's nice. So, like I said, I get to meet a lot of people outside of work. I see people. They're like, hey, I know you. Don't you work at the casino? And I'm like, yes, So I've met a lot of people, and I really enjoy working there. It's great, And also, I want to thank Gary for asking me to come up here and speak because I really feel privileged. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Queen. Marion, can you come up, please?
Good morning. My name is Marion Silverstein. I'm actually a resident at Nemacolin Woodlands Resort on property. We have owned for almost 13 years next month. I was hired in 2013 as a host for the casino. Honestly, when they offered me and I applied for the job as a host, I was like, what is a host? Kind of like, am I a server? Honestly, I knew nothing about the gaming business. Prior to coming here, I was president and CEO of Make-A-Wish Foundation of Northern West Virginia. So quite a difference between taking care of children with life-threatening illnesses and taking care of adult children that wanted to have a good time. But I am so blessed at my, I want to say age, but I like stage of my life better, that I could find another opportunity for however long I wanted to work. At my age, I thought my career would end with Make-A-Wish. I loved it. I loved what I did, raising money, taking care of the children, but also it was a commute. I traveled for 15 plus years, the state of West Virginia. Of course, living here, my tax money, a lot of it went to West Virginia, so I'm local here. I'm happy that I reside here in Fayette County and that the money, that I make here pays the taxes for this area. So I am blessed that I can jump on my golf cart and be at work in 5 minutes. But more than anything, I think the casino has added made a difference in this whole area. I think people, it's a destination casino. I think the resort, being here on property, we can offer so many people, statewide, tri-state. I'm just very blessed. So at my stage of life, to be giving an opportunity to have a whole new career, 2014, I was promoted to executive host. I'm still not sure what that means, but I'm doing my job and I like it. We have a great team of directors. Gary, so glad to have him on board. I'm grateful every day that I have a great job. I'm at home working, and it doesn't get any better than this. Thank you.
Thank you, Marion. We do have 2 community speakers next. Muriel Nuttall. I apologize if I misspelled or mispronounced your name.
Good morning. My name is Muriel Nuttall. I am the Executive Director of the Fayette County Chamber of Commerce, and on behalf of our Board of Directors, I would like to thank you for this opportunity to present our testimony regarding the relicensure of Nemacolin Woodlands Lady Luck Casino. The Fayette Chamber of Commerce has a long history in Fayette County. Since our inception in 1925, we've grown from a localized chamber, which encompassed only the city of Uniontown, to a broad membership of well over 600 businesses and organizations representing more than 17,500 employees throughout Fayette County and in the surrounding region. The Fayette Chamber itself's membership is diverse. We have memberships in 5 major sectors. 23% are professional services, 20% are nonprofit government education, 18% are retailers, wholesalers, 15% are in the customer service sector, and 14% in the hospitality and food service companies. Ranked by numbers of employers, our members range in size from the smallest to the very largest, from sole proprietors on one end of the spectrum to 9 of the 10 largest employers in Fayette County on the other. At the Fayette Chamber, our mission states that we're an action-oriented group incorporated to promote a favorable business climate for members in their communities and to provide leadership and support for local businesses in their efforts to improve the local economy, education systems, political environment, and overall quality of life, and put that into much more direct terms. We exist as a Chamber of Commerce in order to help our members succeed in business and to make sure that we maintain and develop a good quality of life for all of our residents in Fayette County. As the Chamber is charged with representation of the county business community, we are faced with issues on a daily basis which are poised to make great impact on our community. From the initial conversation forward, gaming was certainly one of those conversations. When an organization has a diverse membership such as ours, we must continually work to be considerate of the membership at large. Each and every one of our members has an opinion, and each matters greatly to us. So looking back a few years, when this original application for gaming at the resort was presented, we actually conducted a survey back then, and again repeated a couple of times over the years, to gauge the support level of our business community for the gaming industry here in Fayette County. At that time, our executive committee decided that in order for us to come up here and talk to you folks, we needed to have a very good idea of where our members stood on the issue. We did do that survey, was distributed to every one of our members. We were pleased with a very strong representative sample that showed over 80% of our respondents were in support of the prospect of gaming at Nemacolin Woodlands. Over the years, that positive support has not changed a bit. Lady Luck has proven to be a fantastic business partner and neighbor here in Fayette County. This is a small, kind of rural area. Everyone knows everyone else. Our business community is no different. Speaking from a chamber and business perspective, one of the greatest strengths of this community is that businesses support one another and they support the population at large. So there's always a little degree of concern when a new business comes in from another area. We often wonder if they'll understand who we are and kind of get that part of our business area. Well, let me tell you, in no uncertain terms, Lady Luck Nemacolin, they get it. They not only get it, they embrace it in this community. From their genuine desire to be part of the community festivals to support of the county's nonprofit community, across the board, they've proven to be nothing other than good business partners. Tourism is vitally important in Fayette County. It represents our future and is currently one of our largest industries, ranking first or second. The additional entertainment options afforded through the table games and the whole Lady Luck Casino facility do nothing but help to increase and boost our visitation. Our hotel occupancy tax, our bed tax certainly helps to provide the essential funding necessary to support our tourism-related businesses throughout the rest of the county. And as a Chamber of Commerce, we stand in strong partnership with our stated TPA, the Laurel Highlands Visitors Bureau, who will speak in just a minute. And we are thankful to Nemacolin and equally to Lady Luck for the tremendous support that they bring to the industry. And we're hopeful of a very long, continued partnership with the casino here in Fayette County. While the membership statistics did show a majority of support for this project as a whole, conversely, there are members who are not supportive of the prospect of gaming in the county. Please keep in mind that the majority of that small group of members who were against the concept of gaming in the beginning are against the concept of gaming from a moral level, regardless of where the casinos put or what activities take place. Additionally, understanding those moral and ethical concerns, we continue to be confident, as Lady Luck has proven, that our social service agencies like the Fayette County Drug and Alcohol Commission, as well as Woodlands Fayette and the Isle of Capri, have designed specific programs to deal with any problems that might arise. In addition, we all seem to agree on the importance of passing on to the next generation the tools necessary to make the best moral and ethical decisions possible. In short, Nemacolin Woodlands is a good neighbor, and the Hardy family has proven to the Chamber and to the county that they certainly have the best interest of the area in mind as they create and operate their businesses. Isle of Capri has proven a commitment to the community both at our doorstep here in the county as well as the region in large. The bottom line is, while we have a small representative portion of our membership in disagreement, and it is a small portion, the overwhelming majority of our membership stands side by side solidly with Lady Luck Casino and Nemacolin Woodlands as partners, supporting one another for the good of the community, and we certainly hope that partnership lasts for many, many years to come. Thank you.
Thank you, Muriel. Renee Seifert, would you please come up?
Welcome to the Laurel Highlands. I'm honored to be here and appear before you, the Pennsylvania Gaming Control Board, for the hearing in support of Nemacolin Woodlands Resort and the renewal of the table games license for the Lady Luck Casino. As the president and CEO of the Laurel Highlands Visitors Bureau, my team and I oversee the tourism marketing for the counties of Fayette, Somerset, and Westmoreland. In this capacity, I am aware of the importance, specifically to Fayette County and generally to the Laurel Highlands, of the Lady Luck Casino and the role that it plays in the economic prosperity of the county and the region. Fayette County is a highly desirable visitor destination because of its many attractions that include Nemacolin Woodlands Resort, Frank Lloyd Wright's Falling Water and Kentuck Knob, Ohiopyle State Park, and the Great Allegheny Passage, as well as numerous other historical sites. Its proximity to Seven Springs Mountain Resort, Hidden Valley Resort, the Flight 93 National Memorial, Idlewild and Soak Zone, and a variety of other attractions put Fayette County on the agenda of hundreds of thousands of our visitors every year. Many of those visitors add the Lady Luck Casino to their lists of places to visit while in the Laurel Highlands. Table games help to attract visitors to the casino who are in the area for the other multitude of attractions that we do have, many of which are generally not available once the sun sets. Therefore, the gaming offerings of the Lady Luck Casino provide visitors recreation in the evenings and enhance their overall experience, thus increasing the length of the visitor stay and their collateral spending. I ask the board to consider the stability, sustainability, and long-standing reputation of the Hardy family, the incomparable Nemacolin Woodlands Resort, and the highly respected Isle of Capri, and continue to allow this partnership to flourish in the interest of economic prosperity and tourism development. Thank you for your consideration of my support for the renewal of the table games license for the Lady Luck Casino at Nemacolin Woodlands Resort.
Thank you, Renee. And that concludes our presentation for today.
I will turn to our Office of Enforcement Counsel. Do you have any questions?
Yes, just a few. Can you explain the benefits offered to Lady Luck Casino's employees?
For our full-time employees, we offer major medical, dental, vision. There's also other levels of short-term disability, those kind of things. For our part-time members, since the Affordable Care Act, we don't actually provide medical benefits. We did before. Now we have a supplemental program that's available to them through Colonial Life.
Is your microphone on?
Yeah, there it is.
Sorry.
Oh, and I almost forgot. I'm Benjamin Farrell, Ferrell, with the Office of Enforcement Counsel.
If I could hang on one second, Ben, we also have employee tuition reimbursement, those kind of things available to them.
Okay, so they're like a 401k type plan.
Yes, 401k as well. Match.
Is there an employer match?
Yes,
Okay. What's the percentage on that?
25%. Not certain. I can get that to you later today.
Okay. How many part-time employees does Lady Luck Casino employ?
We currently have 81 part-time employees, about 26% of our staff.
Okay. And what positions do those part-time employees typically hold?
Typically dealer positions. That's where we can be very flexible with hours, as well as server positions and some slot attendants, housekeeping, those kind of things.
And I'm going to turn your attention to slides 23 and 24 in regards to the departmental training. Is this available to all employees?
Yes. One of the key ones is, of course, responsible gaming. That's supplied to all employees at new hire, and an annual refresher class, which I actually just attended yesterday. Title 31 is taught to everybody, and then the people that are, is taught to the people that are in line with the customers that would have to be watching for that, the finance people, the slot attendants, the dealers, and so forth, and there's also annual refreshers for that.
Okay. As far as the other forms of training, apart from that one, is it kind of based on department, or is all of those trainings available to everybody?
Some of it depends on the training that we're talking about. Some is available to everybody. Again, the compulsive problem gambling, responsible gaming. But like alcoholic beverage are responsive to those people that are serving alcohol or on the floor that would witness it.
Okay. Now, how often are the mock scenarios conducted?
We've done that once last year, and then just very recently we had a meeting with the PSP where we covered active shooter information.
And along with the safe and responsible gambling program training, do you also offer responsible alcohol
Yes.
training as well?
Yes.
Now, how often would that occur?
It happens at new hire and then every 3 years with the certification.
And is that available to everybody?
I'm sorry, did you ask for responsible alcohol or responsible gaming?
Responsible alcohol.
It's every 3 years. Okay. I'm sorry, I've been corrected. Tips, we do that every year.
Okay. And is that available to everybody, employee-wise?
It's available to the people that either serve or are involved with patrons on the floor that would witness.
Okay. Now I'm going to turn to facility plans. Are most of your patrons coming to the casino from the resort, or is it more local?
We have majority of our population at the casino are from the local area. We do get quite a bit of business with the resort and do quite a few things together as well.
Are there any plans for additional amenities at the casino?
Not at this time.
Any plans to expand or contract the gaming floor?
No.
Are there any plans to increase the number of slot machines?
No, we're currently at 597. We're capped at 600 for the Class 3. So.
Let me see. And how often does Lady Luck replace its slot machines?
We shoot for right now. We're doing about 6 new machines per quarter, plus about 10 conversions.
Now, does Lady Luck lease its slot machines?
We do have some leased slot machines, but the majority are owned. We have about 2% of the floor is leased.
And do you by chance have know the percentage of owned versus leased?
2%, 2.2%.
Okay. And are there any plans to offer new or different table game?
We always look for something new and exciting, so we can, take a table that's existing and replace it with something that's more exciting when we find something. Sure, we always look for something.
Okay. And are there any plans to increase or decrease casino staff?
No.
No further questions.
Does Lady Luck have any follow-up based on Office of Enforcement Counsel questions?
Not this time.
Not this time. I'll turn to board members. Questions? Mr. Woods?
Could you just express how you handle the patron of the amenities? For those coming from outside of the resort in the community, you said a majority of your patrons come from the community. Is there a yearly membership? Is there a daily? And then from the resort, how do you integrate that with the resort folks?
Okay. That process is handled by the resort at the Resort Membership Experience Desk. There is an annual membership, $45, And we also have a daily fee, the $10 gift card that they can purchase. Manny, did you want to speak to any of that?
No, the gift card program works well, and we work really hard with Gary and his team to ensure that all of the guests at the resort have access to those if they choose to do so.
And second, in hiring of new dealers and those involved in the actual gaming on the floor, do you run training programs, or are you looking for individuals with experience from Fayette County?
We'll do both, actually. But we do have a dealer school that we run for new blackjack dealers. Will apply and be a part of that, for example, or craps or any of our other table games. But we do look for people with experience, like any company would.
Thank you.
Mr. Jewell?
At renewal hearings that I've been at in the past, I always like to ask 2 or 3 questions about the different organizations within the county or within the region that have very specific needs that may come to you for some help. And I think each of our member casinos have a program that there's a certain amount of money that's allocated. And I'm wondering how you triage those kinds of needs. In other words, there are more needs than can be helped, or that can be provided for. So how do you do that? Do you have a committee? Do you have a group? How do you take in the needs, and then how do you decide how to reallocate the money to them?
We have a group we call the Community ACES group. It's a membership of several of our employees that meet and go over these requests and determine what they think would be the biggest impact to the community and the best help. That's from our side alone. We also meet regularly with the resort and discuss things that we could possibly do together. As an example, we're right now preparing to do a collection drive for the St. Vincent de Paul. That'll be happening in October. It's the plan.
And how you have a separate amount of money from your operations per se that you give back. How much of you integrate then with the resort? Because they have their own outreach, I'm sure of that.
For as far as money donations go, it's not really integrated with the resort. It's more activities that we would do together.
And how much on average over the last 3 years have you been able to give back, approximately?
Most of what we've given back over the last 3 years has been in hours. A lot of we do
in kind. Okay.
Yes, yeah. We do a lot of work at Ohio Pile with the trails in Ohio Pile. We recently gave a donation to the Fayette Volunteer Fire Department. I don't have a total number for you, but one of the things that we do at the resort or at the casino as well is an employee sunshine fund, where we have a jeans day on Thursday as an example. Director O'Toole was just there to see it last Thursday. Employees are asked to donate $1 to the sunshine fund, and since we started that, we raised $10,000, and that is something that we apply back to our employees in the community with need.
Mm-hmm. I would be interested in you providing to us the breakdown of in-kind versus the actual amount of money, cash, that is given back to the community on an annual basis.
Yes, I can provide that.
Mr. Jewell, I would like to interject and say that Nemacolin Woodlands and family annually as a resort approximately give $500,000 in donations, and the family, the Hardy and McGurko family, well over $1 million in grants and appropriate donations to Fayette Airport and community.
Okay. Thank you very much.
If I could go back for a moment, the 401k match that is offered is 25%.
Thank you, Linda. A couple of questions. And Mr. Hendricks, sorry. I don't know if you were part of the initial IOC presentation when Nemacolin was competing for the Category 3 slot license. At the time, I believe, and we've gone through this before, where people who are competing for licenses, no shock to anybody, kind of overshoot their revenue estimates. So I'll set that as the benchmark. but IOC, Olive Capri, initially said that their win per slot per day, I believe, from their slot machines at the casino would be about $244 a day. In fact, I believe your number is closer to $141 per day. So I guess that begs my question as to how the casino is doing financially. That's our job is, it's great to hear from the community, and that is very, very important. But part of our job also is the financial stability of these casinos in Pennsylvania. And so, hence my question.
Okay. Well, we are a publicly held corporation. Isle of Capri does annual earnings reports, and they talk about the financial aspects of the entire company in those reports. And I can tell you that since opening, there were some things that were done in those initial projections that I was not part of, but we had no way to really model what the access plan would do. There was nothing to base that on, so there was a little overestimation from that, as well as the initial proposal didn't include the impact of Rocky Gap.
So how is the casino doing financially?
The casino it's difficult times, but we are part of a very dedicated company.
Talk a little bit about the synergies, and one of my colleagues asked about it earlier, I think it was Commissioner Woods, about the synergies between the hotel and the casino, and particularly you didn't address specifically what is the percentage, and if you don't have it, you can give it to us in Harrisburg, the percentage of local players versus amenity players. So the hotel guests, the golf course guests, the restaurant guests, what is that percentage of local versus resort guests?
Some of that is difficult to get to. I can tell you that we have about between 90 to 95% of our rated business is within a 70-mile radius.
Okay.
And that's about 80% of our active database. Now, we can go back and find our active membership experience and what they've been doing, what percentage that makes up. It's a pretty good percentage of our trips. Those are our high-frequent guests.
Mm-hmm. All right, if you could give us any information, I guess, thinking about it, I mean, your local players, I would guess, would be rated. If you have a hotel guest, somebody that comes in for golf, they're in and out in a day, maybe they come once a year, maybe they come twice a year, they're not going to, I think, they're not going to bother to be rated, would be my
right,
guess.
and that's probably accurate as well. We have about 20 to 25% of our business is that unrated category, which really there's no way for us to tell.
In the unrated?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So I'm going to say, just for estimation, 75% of your business is probably local. 25%, again, give or take,
as a total, it's probably
would
good,
be from the resort. My last question is your comment about your part-time and full-time. We had just had a public hearing in Harrisburg last week, and we had another casino come to us. It was a Cat 2 casino, but their part-time, full-time ratio was almost flipped from what yours are, and I commend you. I mean, so you're saying that your part-time employment is about 30%, full-time employment is 70%.
Actually, 26% part-time, yes.
26 and then 74.
Mm-hmm.
Is, again, just because it's flipped of what we heard last week, and I commend you on obviously the full-time employment number, is that unusual for the gaming industry?
I can't speak for the industry as a whole, but it's fairly consistent with some of our other properties.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Okay, with that, we will turn to our Office of Enforcement Counsel. Well, first, housekeeping matter. Would you like to move your PowerPoint presentation into the record?
Yes.
I understand you gave an electronic copy to Mr. McGarvey.
Yes, he has
Okay.
that. Mm-hmm.
Office of Enforcement Counsel, any issue with the PowerPoint being in the record?
Oh, no objection.
Okay. And we'll enter that into the record, and we'll turn to you for your presentation.
All right. Well, we have no formal presentation per se, but we do have 3 witnesses and 6 exhibits as well, which we've provided to Lady Luck in They've expressed no objection to those exhibits. With that, at this time, we'd call Sergeant Joseph D'Andrea with the Pennsylvania State Police.
And if you could pull that microphone towards you there a little bit, thank you.
Could you state and spell your name for the record?
Yes, my name is Sergeant Joseph D'Andrea. Spelling my last name is D'(A)N'(D)R)E)A.
And just for the record, what's your current employment?
I'm employed by the Pennsylvania State Police and specifically assigned to Bureau of Gaming Enforcement at the Nemacolin Lady Luck Casino.
And how many years have you been with the Pennsylvania State Police?
I've been with the State Police 29 years. I'm in my 30th year.
And describe the Pennsylvania State Police's role at the facility.
Our role at the facility is kind of unique for me because coming from working patrol my entire career. We are on site, so that's unique in itself, and we respond to anything that would that we're advised of from security or surveillance that would be a crime, or if they just need assistance as far as a patron, if they're having difficulties with a patron. But mostly if it's a crime, we're out there and we respond to that. And we also, unlike some of the other casinos where there's a local police department, our local police department is the Pennsylvania State Police out of Uniontown. So coming from there, my role was to, as the office commander, to assign everything that happens in the parking lot to one of my guys to free up the guys from Uniontown. So we handle everything in the parking lot, whether it's then sent to Uniontown for follow-up or not. We handle everything on site, basically.
And could you describe your working relationship with casino compliance at the casino?
With casino compliance, we have a great
gaming control.
Gaming control, yes. We have a great working relationship. We're side by side, and we have just a great relationship. They bring things to our attention, and we bring things to their attention if we have any concerns, and vice versa. I have an open door policy, and Brandon is my counterpart over there, and it's just a great relationship.
And are you familiar with the Uniform Crime Reporting System?
Yes, I am.
And what is that system?
It's a system maintained by the FBI, and it basically every crime that is reported, we have a UCR number, a Uniform Crime Reporting number that is assigned to it, and with that, we put that on all of our reports, and then we enter it into the database.
And is that available online?
Yes, it is.
And how frequently is that information updated?
We update it monthly, and if we're investigating an incident, we find out that it couldn't have happened or it's unfounded, then we can remove that item at any time to keep the data accurate.
And is the information contained in that system subject to editing?
Yes, it is.
And under what circumstances would that be edited?
Well, basically, if we're investigating a crime and we find out that it couldn't possibly have happened, that it was falsely reported, or in fact, it just never happened, it would then become an unfounded, and we'd have to remove that record. Or, on the other hand, we may be investigating an incident that then becomes a crime that we realize is a crime, then we can add that. And we can do that at any time. Our entry for the month is done before the 12th of the following month. So for September, by October 12th, we'll have it entered.
And could you, if you're able, briefly run through the number of crimes or offenses that have occurred at the facility?
Total overall or by year?
Just kind of overall would be fine.
I know I totaled them, but basically there's 23 that happened in 2013. There were 56 in 2014, considering it was a half a year in 2013. 2015, 56 also. And so far in 2016, as of the end of July, it was 41.
And what would be the most common offense in the crime report?
The most common offense is theft.
And what type of theft is it?
And the most common theft is the voucher theft, where somebody either leaves it, they drop it, or somebody just goes over and if the person walks away and takes it from the machine.
And do you know on average what would be in a given month as far as thefts are concerned?
The thefts are roughly 3 a month.
And has there been any significant number of crimes committed at Lady Luck Casino by any individuals under 21 years of age?
We've had, because of the type of license and the fact that they are checked and screened before they enter the gaming floor, we don't have as many, but we've had a few where they've had fake IDs. The security does a very good job. We've only discovered, I believe, 2 or 3 in the entire time on the floor. And we've had a couple that have been stopped, and we've got them for fake IDs at the door.
And is the Pennsylvania State Police satisfied with the level of cooperation they've received from Lady Luck Casino?
Absolutely.
Also, and are there any issues or concerns that the Pennsylvania State Police would have that would negatively impact Lady Luck Casino's suitability?
No, any concerns with anything with the casino, Brandon Beaver and I both addressed with the casino, and whatever concerns have been always been quickly corrected. So we've got a great relationship with them.
And I have no further questions.
Does Lady Luck Casino have any questions for the witness?
No.
No? Any questions from the board?
Yes, sir. Sergeant, are you there, you were grouped there, the Pennsylvania State Police, 24/7, or there are some times that you're not there?
No, we have 5 dark shifts. Presently, we're covering 2 of the dark shifts. Dark shifts meaning nobody's available, and Uniontown barracks will then come up and respond, or the barracks will call me, and I'll assign somebody to come up. But there were primarily 3 shifts right now. Presently, we're not covering. 2 were being covered because my major wanted them basically reassigned to cover.
And 5 so-called dark shifts, has that been also in 214 and the half the year in 213, or has that increased, or has that been about what it is?
It's been the same the entire time. Now I've fluctuated the days to not have a pattern because of different incidents, and then I've gone back. So basically, there's a couple days are the same, but some of them have changed. Just basically, we don't want to set a pattern.
And do you actually patrol from time to time and walk around the floor, or are you more back in the office?
Actually, we're back in the office, and I have a rule that everybody's got to get out, walk the floor, and we also walk the parking lot. We inspect the outside of the building, walk through the vehicles. The parking lot's not very big. The casino's kind of unique because anywhere you stand, you can see all the walls, so it's kind of small. So you walk around inside the casino, to the back of the house from time to time, to the loading dock, go over to surveillance. Instead of calling surveillance, I prefer my guys walk over to surveillance, so they have to walk across the floor to get to surveillance. And then also, I think we're kind of unique in a way that I established them walking the exterior parking lot. And basically, to prevent, be a deterrent, we're in plain clothes, so people may not know who we are, but the casino staff does, and we'll walk the entire parking lot, and it's proven to be pretty productive or proactive for us.
Do you have any opinion about not being in uniform as opposed to being in civilian clothes?
You're asking a person who's been in uniform his entire career. I have no problem wearing a uniform. I'm proud of the uniform. The difference up here is our uniform is identical to their security uniform, and that would be more of an issue. If there's any time a special event would occur, then with the concurrence of my lieutenant and my major, we would wear the uniform basically as a deterrent and be proactive. But I find that in the environment we're in, we don't want to draw attention away from what they're doing. We're there. And the other thing is when you're there in plain clothes, you see things that they're not going to do when you're there in uniform. So walking through, you can be more observant, and if you see something, take corrective actions immediately. And I think it's a better environment for us at this casino to be in plain clothes.
Are you armed? Concealed?
Yes, absolutely.
Concealed armed. Okay. All right. Any incidents or occurrences of children being left in the cars out in the parking lot?
We haven't had any children here, but we've had a few dogs.
Okay. All right. Okay, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Oh, you are excused. Thank you.
Thank you.
We would next call Darcy Leeser. Could you state and spell your name for the record?
Yes, my name is Darcy Leeser, Leezer.
And how are you employed currently?
I'm currently employed as an investigative supervisor with the Bureau of Investigations and Enforcement.
And, oh yeah, look at that. Yep. How long have you been employed with the Bureau of Investigations and Enforcement?
With BIE, a little bit over 10 years, I'd say 10 and a half years. And in my current capacity, a year and a half.
And in your current capacity, what are your duties and responsibilities?
Well, I supervise a team of investigators, and I'm responsible for assigning their cases, helping them to manage their caseload, advising them on any issues that come up during their investigations, and then ultimately, when the investigation is complete, I review their reports of investigation for any areas of further investigation.
And in that capacity, have you been involved with Lady Luck Casino's renewal?
Yes.
And are currently the background investigations for that renewal completed now? Or?
All but one is completed, and I expect that one to be done mid to late October.
And describe the scope of a typical casino license renewal investigation.
Well, it's pretty comprehensive, but ultimately what we're looking for are any issues relating to the applicant's honesty, integrity, or character, and that's both for the entities and the individuals. Some main areas that we are looking at include, obviously, criminal history. We're looking into financial suitability, civil litigation history in other gaming jurisdictions, and also for the renewals, we want to see what their history's been like with our organization as well.
And thus far, has Lady Casino and its associated entities and individuals been cooperative during that investigation?
Absolutely.
And once the investigation has been completed, what is the next step?
Once the investigation is completed, a report is prepared. I review the report, and then I send it on to my immediate supervisor, and he reviews it. Then it gets sent on to our Office of Enforcement Counsel. They will review it for any legal issues or any concerns that they have, and it makes its way up to the board for the ultimate decision.
And anything else you'd like to add at this time?
No, not at this time.
I have no further questions.
Any questions for this witness from Lady Luck?
No.
Okay, you're excused. Thank you.
Next, we would call Brandon Beaver.
Morning.
Could you state and spell your name for the record?
Brandon Beaver, Beaver.
How long are you? How are you currently employed?
I am currently employed as the casino supervisor for Lady Luck.
And is that with casino compliance?
Yes.
And how long have you been employed with the Bureau of Casino Compliance?
I started in June of 2013 at Lady Luck, and I got promoted to supervisor in December of last year, 2015.
And what are your current duties and responsibilities?
Myself and 6 CCRs, casino compliance representatives, and we mainly ensure the casino follows the regulations and also the state improves internal controls.
Now, as part of that, do you review compliance reports and things of that nature from the CCRs who are there as well?
Yes.
And could you also describe the role of the Bureau of Casino Compliance at the facility?
Yes, we watch over the casino, make sure they are following the regulations and their internal controls. We also handle any patron complaints that may come up at the casino, whether it's in person or they submit it through the website or called in. Also, if someone would want to get on the self-exclusion list, we will also handle the intake on site.
And what kind of access does the Bureau of Casino Compliance have within Lady Luck Casino?
Full access. We have access to the surveillance room, count room, everywhere.
And you mentioned that you interact with patrons. How often that occur?
I would say on a daily basis, myself and the casino compliance representatives, we do walk the gaming floor, and we are out there quite a bit, so we have quite a few interactions.
And could you describe the relationship between the Bureau of Casino Compliance and the Pennsylvania State Police stationed at Lady Luck?
Very good. We have an open door policy. Myself or Deandra, we do probably meet once a day.
And could you describe the relationship between the Bureau of Casino Compliance and Lady Luck staff?
Very good. They're very cooperative with everything we ask of them. No issues there.
And what would you say be the most common regulatory issue casino compliance sees at Lady Luck?
Nothing stands out at mine. They are pretty good at correcting anything that does happen, so offhand I can't say one jumps out more than anything else.
And are there any issues or concerns that casino compliance would have that would negatively impact Lady Luck suitability?
No.
I have no further questions.
Does Lady Luck have any questions for our supervisor? No? Board members?
Yes, sir. I have a question about the self-exclusion list. And let's say for last year, 2015, how many folks came to you and went through that process with you, approximately?
I don't have the exact figure, but I'm going to say probably around 5. I could get that figure to you, though.
Okay. So that's the number we've been seeing a year, 5 to 10?
Yes, it have, yeah,
okay.
come in on a yearly basis to get on the list, yes.
All right, good. Thank you.
You are excused.
Thank you.
The Office of Ordinance and Accounts has nothing further, but we would ask that Exhibits 1 through 6 be entered into the record, and we also would request that Exhibits 5 and 6 be made confidential.
Okay. Does Lady Luck Casino have any issues with entering these 6 exhibits into the record?
None at all.
Okay. Okay. They are moved into the record. I have one exhibit to be moved into the record. It is a written comment that was received through our website, and it is in support of the renewal of the casino license, and that will be made part of the record as hearing exhibit number 1. And we'll now move to the public comment portion of the hearing, unless we need a break for any reason. Okay. Public comment portion of the hearing. As I call your name, if you come up to the podium. We don't have any community groups registered today. We have, I believe, 5 local government representatives and 1 individual. So I remind local government representatives they have approximately 10 minutes to speak, and the individual has approximately 3 minutes, and I will let you know if you're getting close to your time so you can wrap up. So if we can have those 6 individuals, please stand to be sworn by the court reporter. If there are 6 of you here. And we will begin with Vincent Vasides.
I want to thank the Pennsylvania Gaming Control Board for the members for the opportunity to speak here today. As a county commissioner, I am always concerned with the financial stability and of the county, as well as the overall economic growth of the county. I am pleased to be able to stand here today with the knowledge of the excellent partnership that has been created since Lady Luck Nemacolin opened its doors. Jobs for our residents have always been a number 1 priority for the Commissioner's office. Employing several 300 people, residents, is good business for Fayette County. I've always been proud to work alongside the Hardy family, this fabulous venture of Nemacolin, and I'm equally proud to stand beside Lady Luck and then their representatives. Bringing much-needed revenue into our municipalities in the county has brought about a much-needed influx of dollars. The LSA grants of $1.8 million to the county have helped 36 projects, leveraging monies for economic development and job creation, and helping nonprofit communities with funds to create programs that will continue to give Fayette County the opportunity to grow. The recipe for successful business in any area takes more than just financial commitment to the community. It takes organization, committed to becoming friends, neighbors, family, support systems, and more. The good people here at Nemacolin have brought to Fayette County just such an organization with Lady Luck and Owl of Capri. This organization has embedded in our community the works consistently to the best partners possible, from helping with community events to having fundraisers to support our residents' needs. Lady Luck has proven themselves. We consider them part of the fabric of Fayette County and hope that this partnership will continue in the future. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Andrew French.
Good day. My name's Andrew French. I'm the Executive Director of the Fayette County Redevelopment Authority, and we are the administrator of the local share account funding that's provided through the revenues generated by Lady Luck Casino. And I'll keep my comments relatively brief because I think we've already heard about the impact of that funding. To date, it's generated over $1.8 million. We actually submitted our first application for that funding last year in October, requesting $1.1 million, and that money was received in February of this year. So that's being utilized to implement about 18 different projects located throughout Fayette County. It's also being used to leverage over $500,000 in other public and private investment that's occurring. And we're in the process right now of looking to apply for our 2016 round of funding through the LSA program. I think what's also significant to note is the amount of requests that we've received. We received about $4.5 million in requests last year. This year, we've received over $2 million in requests. So clearly there's a great need for these types of projects, this investment of money to help spur economic development and community improvement projects throughout Fayette County. And we also recognize as the Redevelopment Authority that that's just one component of the investment that has occurred with Lady Luck Casino and Nemacolin Resort, but it's a very critical component, and therefore we're obviously in favor of the relicensure for Lady Luck Casino. Thank you.
Thank you. John Lewis.
Good morning. I'm John Lewis. I would like to welcome you all to Wharton Township. I'm a supervisor here in Wharton Township for over 20 years. I stood here 3 years ago making a decision that I wasn't really sure about. It was all new to me. And on behalf of the rumors I heard and weighing everything in Wharton Township at that time's budget was very, very slow. We was bouncing back and forth into the red. So the decision of maybe what I'm hearing, I weighed out that, and the good sounded a lot more better that we was going to get some more money. So I made the decision to support Lady Luck Casino. And after 3 years, I'm standing here again in support again. Very, very satisfied with Lady Luck Casino. We've had great relationships. All the rumors that I heard was negative turned out not to be negative. The support from the police, the support from Nemacolin Woodlands, and all their support they gave the township no problems at all. We've had no complaints about anything in the parking lot, anything going on like that. And that was a great relief to me to know that I did make a good decision. Not only that, the revenue that we have got from the casino has doubled our road paving. It has put more equipment on the road right now. This year here, we're putting 3 new trucks on to maintain the roads that we are redoing, to keep them in the shape they are. And it has helped our park so much that things that we had on the back burner for years that I was hoping with my age that I would live long enough to see done, is done. It's beautiful. We got a beautiful park up there, and I can only thank the Lady Luck Casino, Nemacolin Woodlands, and your support for standing here and listening to everybody and taking this into consideration. It's just been a great, not only the money to receive, but the jobs it's given to the people here in this community, and kept the jobs at Nemacolin that people in this community have worked for years and years and years, and there's no complaints on anything as far as that. And I would just thank everybody for the opportunity to be able up here to speak to you people, and for all the Nemacolin Woodlands have done for Wharton Township, because without Nemacolin Woodlands right now, we would be in trouble. We would be scamping. And I just want to thank everybody for this opportunity.
Thank you. James Means.
He's not present. He had emergency gate.
Okay. Joseph Henning.
Good morning. I'm Joseph Henning, one of the Wharton Township Supervisors, and I basically am here in support of the Lady Luck Casino, and in the essence of saving some time and not being repetitive, I fully support everything that Mr. Lewis just said, and thank you.
I think he wants an early lunch. Yes, sir.
Madam Chairman, may I didn't realize I was going to be here today. Could I make a public comment if it's in order on behalf of us?
Please, come forward.
You can see I'm overdressed, so my humble apologies. George Rattay, R-A-T-T-A-Y, long 69 years of Fayette County residence. Reason I stopped by today, I'm coming back from the Steeler victory in Washington, D.C., so forgive me again for my dress. First and foremost, I want to thank the Hardys, because if it wasn't for the Hardys, this wasn't possible. They have a first-class resort. On behalf of Ala Capri, I think everybody in here probably knows me. I'm a frequent flyer. I know they mentioned 559 machines. I may have played every one of them. Well, let me say this. In my former life, I represented the Plumbers and Pipefitters Union and also 14 different trade unions in western Pennsylvania. I'm on FAPEN's Economic Development. I'm also on the Workforce Investment Board. And I know how important economic development is, just not for Fayette County, for all Pennsylvania. I know you granted a license 3 years ago, and I hope you renew the license again, because as alluded to all the speakers, and I don't want to be redundant to anybody here. But let me say in closing, I want to thank the Ala Capri. As someone who goes out in the public, you can't appreciate from the people that park your car, to people that welcome you there, to people as Queen who works in a restaurant, to people on the floor, how kind they are to all of us there at the casino. And that's a personal note that goes a long way. And again, I want to thank you. Everybody here, have a safe trip home, and I hope you renew the license. Thank you very much.
Thank you. David Vrana.
Yes. Hello. My name is Mr. Vrana. It's spelled capital V-R-A-N-A. And I just want to say I'm a trained community builder and also events planner and promoter since 2004. And I would say that I think that the casino is very nice looking in and outside both. But I have two issues. Okay, one of them is I do charter bus trips to the casinos. And in the summer of 2014, I contacted the manager there and said I would like to do on a regular basis, bring up bus loads of people from Greene County to come to the casino. So we talked to some on the phone, and I told him I'd like to come up and talk to him in person. So he said, come on up. So on my way up, I called him on my cell phone, which, it's on the phone records, and told him I was on my way up, and he said, okay, when we get there, I'll let you come to my office. Well, when I got up there, I asked for him, and they said they're not going to let me talk to him in his office. So I had to cancel my bus trips. Some of the people's money I had to give them back, and I had a list of people, including the brother of the Dolphy's restaurant owner in Masontown. Also, the other issue is advertising in Greene County. I mentioned it to him, and also think that they should advertise on at least one billboard in Greene County, because I know they have the casino in Washington, but we're between the two. And I even mentioned it to the manager about this, and he said there's a budget for, that's why they didn't, not advertise in Greene County. But I still think it would suggest, if you do renew it, definitely, because we do have a lot of people from Greene County come up there to the Lady Luck, and I even still go there. I was there last year, and enjoy playing the machines. Thank you, and I appreciate you letting me speak today.
Thank you. That is the end of my list. Is there anyone here who believes they signed up and I haven't called your name? Okay. Seeing no hands, I'll turn to Lady Luck. Do you have any closing statements you'd like to make?
I think Monty would like to make a statement.
Thank you again for the opportunity. We are so gracious to have you here in our backyard, and thank you for the visit. I did want to just say that Gary and I work well together and try really, really hard, meet on a regular basis, as well as our marketing teams meet on a regular basis, to ensure that we are doing everything that we can to make this a successful venture. We believe that Lady Luck Nemacolin represents the true embodiment of the Category 3 license, and hope that you will consider upping that again. Since 2013, the casino's opening, we have seen more than 500,000 room nights increase per year since before. 5,000. 5,000. I wish it was 500,000, Maggie. 5,000, excuse me. I gave her a heart attack. A good one. And as such, the increase, we also believe that the casino has filled a huge void for our guests as they've come. And the comments that we've received over the years is that there was no nightlife activity. And so we do believe that the casino has fulfilled that and given our guests a great opportunity to have more activities into the early evening or the late evening, and know that it has helped us increase our visits as well. Thank you again for the time. We're so glad to have you here.
Thank you. Office of Enforcement Counsel, any closing remarks?
We do not.
Okay. If the parties are that so desire, if you would like to file any briefs or written memorandum, you can do so by the end of business next Wednesday, if there's anything burning that you haven't told us already. The record will remain open until the board hears the matter at a later public meeting. I'll prepare a report based on the testimony and evidence today, and the suitability report when it is filed by our Bureau of Licensing. That report and all of the evidence and transcript of today's hearing will be sent to the board for its consideration, and at its convenience will schedule the matter to be heard in Harrisburg. I want to thank Wharton Township today, and specifically Carrie, who we've worked with, our staff has worked with to coordinate this hearing today. Thank you very much for your hospitality, and I want to thank you all for coming today and your cooperation. This hearing is now adjourned. Thank you.
Thank you.